Hey, Cookies here. We are going to go over our Bigwig settings for all of the dungeons in Season 3 of Dragonflight. I was going to break these down into each individual dungeon, but I think I'm going to do that as a separate thing where I do commentary over how to heal the dungeon. This is just going to be a quick run-through of setting up our Bigwigs for all of the dungeons because I still have not gotten around to doing that, and I think it's about time. So, what we're going to do is go over to dungeon bosses in our bigwig settings, and there are going to be some dungeons that we need to track back to previous seasons and expansions and stuff like that. But we're going to start with the Dragonflight dungeons that are available to us, which is just Dawn of the Infinite. So we'll go ahead and start with Dawn of the Infinite. And my idea for this is to run through each of the bosses, and we're going to find something to change into a red colored bar, a yellow colored bar, have a countdown, and then go through the trash abilities. So the red bar for us is going to be what's the most healing intensive thing in the fight, if there is something like that. And then the yellow bar would be something that is like a medium healing thing. It's not necessarily a healing check, but it's something that we probably would want to press like a defensive for or things like that. Just make sure the group's healthy. So we have like major damage, which is red bar. We have moderate damage, which is yellow bar. And then we're going to have a countdown for something, which the countdown is just going to be one ability that we pick from the boss that we feel would be the most important to have a countdown timer for. Alright, so starting off with Dawn of the Infinite, we have Chronikar. For this, I would probably say the leap is going to be something that we want to set only when on me. And then we're going to make the sound, just like our bigwigs for Raid Guide, we're going to make this the PvP flag taken sound. Just so we get that notification that we need to move if it's targeting us. And then Chrono Shear is very, very important for our tank. We need to heal him up very quickly when this goes out, and then dispel him. So I think this is what is going to be our countdown timer. So we're going to enable a countdown timer for Chrono Shear, and then this will also be our red bar. So we're going to go to colors. And then the bars, we're just going to change the normal bar color because that's all I use. I don't use the emphasized bars. And we're just going to make that red, which is just red 175, and the rest is 0. So there's that. And then next up we have Sand Stomp, which will just be our yellow bar. So this is just the AoE, like the moderate amount of AoE damage that goes out on the whole group. So we'll just change the normal bar color to yellow, which is going to be green and red 175, and then blue will be 0. Alright, and that's it for Chronikar. Now we go to Manifested Timeways. This one's going to be a big one. So we have Chrono Faded, which is the dispellable debuff that goes out on people. This is where we'll probably... Let's see. Yeah, this is definitely going to be our countdown timer so that we know when those dispellable debuffs are going out. And then this will also be... I believe our red bar. So we're going to set that to be red. And then lastly, I'm going to change the sound of this ability. Actually, I don't think I need to really worry too much about sounds. There's going to be some specific things that I change sounds for. We could make this only when on me, so that we only get the sound notification when it's on us. So maybe we'll do that. We'll do only when on me. And then go ahead and set the noise to the flag taken sound. That way, if we don't hear the sound, we know that we want to stand in one of the damage reduction zones. And if we do hear the sound, we want to move and dispel ourselves. That's it for that. And then we have Fragments of Time, which is just the ability where you need to run away from all the little orbs. We technically don't need to set anything up for that. So I think I'm just going to leave it as is. So we have our countdown, and we have our red bar. And then next up, we're going to go to Blight of Galakrond. This one's another big one. We're going to enable a countdown, I believe, for probably the Corrosive Infusion. And there are different phases here, so we might need to set it up for different phases and whatnot. So for here, yeah, we're going to set countdown for Corrosive Infusion. And then this will be our yellow bar. So Corrosive Infusion, we're going to change the normal color to yellow. And And again, this is all personal preference, so people don't need to necessarily copy me or anything like that. And then the other thing we want to do is enable only when on me and make the sound of pressing our defensive, which I already lost it again. We found it in the previous video when I was talking about this, and I don't remember what I had set up. I'm going to press this, and hopefully it's not an annoying loud sound. Definitely not that one. I think I had it written down somewhere. Maybe it was in my Discord. Let me just double check really quick. Let's see. It's effects. 188 is what it says in there. Yep, there we go. Oh, is that? Oh, okay. This is actually something different. This is what I used for frontals back a while ago. Let's see. Okay, this is going to be something I have to mess with later. I'm not going to mess with it in this video because it's just going to waste a bunch of time. I'm just going to set this back to its default sound. And then we'll go ahead and... I guess for now we'll do like the beware sound, and then I'll come back and change it after I'm done recording the video. So we have Corrosive Infusion is going to have our countdown and our yellow bar, and then for our red bar we're going to do Necrotic Winds, because this one is a very, very nasty ability. So this is going to be our red bar. Don't need a sound with it. And then we have Necrofrost in the other phase. And this one, I think Necrofrost we'll leave alone. We don't need to worry too much about that. And then Incinerating Blight Breath, that's going to be a pretty nasty one. So that one we're going to set to have a countdown for, since we don't have, since the Necrotic Winds only happen in P2. In P3 we can set something else as our countdown timer, which is going to be the Incinerating Blight Breath. And then we will just set the noise to probably Destruction, just so that it lets us know to watch out. Or we can set it to Frontal, I guess, just to make it not so obnoxious. So we can just find where it says Frontal.
Front.
We'll just do that. I thought I had one that specifically says Frontal, but maybe not. It doesn't look like it. Nope. Okay. We'll just leave it like that. And I believe that is it for Blight of Galakrond. So now we move on to Iridikron. This is the last boss of the first half of the dungeon if you're doing it in Mythic Plus. So for here, we're going to do... Let's see, this one's kind of tough. For our countdown timer, I believe we are going to go ahead and do probably Earth Surge, so we know when that's happening. And Earth Surge will be our red bar. Earth Surge will have countdown and red bar, and then Extinction Blast is going to be our... or I guess it would be... Is it this one? Let's see. No, it's not that one. Okay, so it is this one right here. Stonecracker Barrage. We're going to set that as our yellow bar. And don't need to set anything else for it. And I think that's it. We just have a countdown, red bar, yellow bar. And don't need to worry about the rest. I guess the only other thing is Extinction Blast, if that's targeting us. So we can put only when on me. And then we can make the sound, the noise to press our defensive. So for now, I'll just change that to... I believe it was just Beware. Do I have something that just says defensive? We could just do that for now, and then I could always switch it back. Let's see. Don't move, dot, drop. Nope, nothing. So, We could do targeted.
Targeted.
That works. We can do that for now, and then I can switch it over later. All right, and then we move on to part 2 of this dungeon, which is going to be Tyr the Infinite Keeper. Let's see, how long has this ran for so far? Oh, we already are at 10 minutes. Maybe I should break this down dungeon by dungeon. I did not expect it to take that long. And we still have the trash too, technically. So let's go through the trash of part 1, and then, yeah, maybe I guess I will break these into separate videos. All right. I don't know if all of these, I don't know if they're in alphabetical order or by the dungeon. It looks like they might go by the dungeon. We'll see. Let's see. Chronomelt is really dangerous, but it's just interruptible. Tempo Slice. It's just a spell on the tank. Chronoburst. This is the one that marks, puts a dot on you and then explodes when you dispel it. So this one we'll definitely want to put something for. So we'll do probably a countdown and only when on me. And then set the noise to targeted.
Targeted.
Right. And then we have, pretty much ignore all of this stuff. Bloom, we can definitely not put a countdown for just in case it gets double pulled, but we can set up a something that says dispel, hopefully. Dispel.
Dispel.
There we go. And then we have Infinite Fury. This is also the dragons that are in the first part of the dungeon. I think these are in both dungeons, technically. So we'll go ahead and put a countdown for those, just so we know when Infinite Fury is going to happen. Light Spew, don't need to worry about. Stone Bolt, don't need to worry about. Corroding Volley. And then this gets into the next dungeon, so we can ignore this stuff. And then we will go over that in the next video. So I think that's it for the trash. Don't need to worry too much about anything else. I don't want to put too many countdown timers on stuff, just in case things get pulled together and then you're hearing multiple countdown timers. If that does happen and you want multiple countdown timers, you can always just set different voices for the different countdown timers so that you kind of can differentiate them. But I just would rather avoid the kind of chaos that creates. So I'm just going to enable a countdown for the most important trash ability I see fit and then go from there. So yeah, that is it for part 1 of Dawn of the Infinite, and I will see you guys for the next one. Thanks for watching.